Hello, lovely. It is Heather from Creative Sage. I hope that your day has gotten off to a beautiful and most inspired start. We are in day 14 of our magical Enchanted Sparks card pull of the day. Um, this is pretty special to get to day 14, 2 full weeks of you showing up as daily as possible to join me for what I hope has made a bit of a difference for you and has inspired a bit of thought and perhaps maybe opened up a little line of dialogue between you and the highest aspect of your most holy self. So, while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and do a little smudge for us. I have heard from several of you that this has made a difference for you. Maybe not in the ways that any of us expected, but from what I understand, just the idea of being able to give something over to the smoke, whether in thought or deed, seems to have really opened up some channels for you and cleared some spaces. So that makes my heart so happy. Thank you for sharing that with me. The whole idea of lighting a bit of white sage before we get started is first and foremost to call your energy to present tense. I know we all have a lot going on in our daily lives, and so just the act of lighting the white sage and seeing it smolder a little bit and burn sort of gets your attention. And then the white sage itself is notorious for being a beautiful and sacred plant that essentially carries your burdens, your stagnant energy, things sitting heavy on your heart, things that you no longer wish to be carrying around. It carries them up and out into the ether and allows your heart to be free and clear. If you do this in your home, I recommend going from space to space wherever energy can live. You light a white sage leaf and you carry a dish that won't get too hot. And you move it through your home. And as you do that, or your car or your office, you just imagine that the smoke is sort of grabbing everything and clearing it out for you. And then you decide what you would like to put back into the space. This is a very special Enchanted Sparks blend that I created with a plethora of different herbs ranging from lavender and peppermint and rosemary, a little bit of tobacco for gratitude, and a few other things. And then today I wanted to add something new because it felt very necessary. This is a leaf from a plant called Yerba Santa, and it means holy weed. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but this particular plant is known for clearing the throat. From a medicinal standpoint, oftentimes this is steeped in tea, and we drink it when we have bronchial issues and need to sort of open up the chest area if it's been constricted. You've had a cough, it's that time of year. I choose to use this with my clients as a means for essentially opening up the throat if we were to think of it as a chimney. So oftentimes there are things that we need to say that have been sitting on our heart. And for whatever reason, whether we come from a place where we believe that our voice was never truly heard, we've been led to think that our opinion or our voice doesn't count, or we just didn't want to hurt someone's feelings, we're afraid to speak our truth. There's a million different reasons that we start to sort of tamp things down into the throat, and not unlike a chimney, eventually it gets clogged up, things get stuck. You may find that you get a lot of frogs in your throat, you have trouble speaking, you have physical responses when maybe the attention is directed at you and we ask your opinion. It could show up in a million different ways. But the idea is we put a little yerba santa into the smoke, and it helps to clear out that trapped energy. So essentially, if you imagine your throat as a chimney, the yerba santa helps to remove the blockage, and it gives what is sitting on your throat, in your throat, to the smoke so that you can open it up and have a clear voice again. If you really do think of the analogy like a chimney, if you don't clear out that chimney, eventually enough junk builds up in there that it burns down the house. So we need to be careful on a spiritual and energetic level to be taking as good of care as our spirit as we do our homes, and sometimes better care than we do of our homes. There is only one body that we know of, your beautiful sacred vessel, and it deserves to be treated with the utmost respect because it houses your beautiful spirit. So do what you can to connect with a little bit of herbal medicine. See if that feels right for you. And we'll see where the road takes us. So that being said, let's get to the sparks for the day. I have been sitting with these sparks actually for a bit longer than usual today because it just felt like they needed a little bit more connection. Sometimes I find, and I'm sure you've experienced this in your life, where you have so many thoughts running through your head, it feels nearly impossible to get your energy present and get grounded. So when that happens, it's important to get yourself into a cozy space, get present in your body. And we talked yesterday about putting your palms up so that you are able to better receive whatever it is that wishes to come for you. And then just breathe. Literally, for those of us that have monkey mind and we have trouble staying focused on the thing at the present moment, if you just allow yourself to focus on your breath, sometimes that makes all the difference. It clears out all the other static and just gives you the ability to hear the voice of spirit a bit more clearly. So today, as we do every day, as I shuffle the cards, I'm asking the same question: what would you have me know today? And if you were sitting in front of me, I would ask you to take your journal out now and get your magic wand, pen or pencil ready, so that when I turn over the card and we reveal the spark, you are able to, almost without thought, just write down the first three things that come to mind. And I want you to know that I feel like I need to say over and over again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. And if the words that come to you, or the feelings, or even colors, whatever comes up for you, it may have nothing to do with, as far as you know, the spark that you're looking at. But after you write it down and you allow those thoughts to percolate a little bit, you never know what they're going to lead to. So approach this practice with an open heart and an open mind, and remember that our invitation here is for a dialogue with the divine aspect of ourselves. And the divine is far more far-reaching than any of our human abilities can allow. So it sees more, it feels more, it knows more, it calls on more. So this is where we need to have a little faith that whatever is showing up for us is indeed meant for us, even if we don't initially understand it. That is essentially the essence of having faith, right? It might not be what we expected or what we wanted, but perhaps at the end of the day, it's going to wind up being even better. So that being said, one more time, what would you have me know today? And then as it feels right for me, I will turn over the card that wants so desperately to have my attention. And I don't know if you can see this, but our spark of the day today is time. And this is Well, this is a really big one to wrap our brains around, isn't it? So I would say put your brain on hold right now, and write down the very first three things that popped into your mind when you saw the word time show up on this spark of the day. What was the first feeling or impression you got? Did you feel it in your body? Was it immediate? Did you have a visceral response when you saw this spark? I saw this and thought the first thing that came to mind for me was you always think you have enough. You always think you have enough time to do the things that you want to do, to execute the plans and goals and all the things that we think are so important on the daily. But in fact, none of us, most of us, I would say, don't actually know how much time we have left. And so, why would we ever be putting off something that means so much to us if you've been carrying it on your heart and it's something you've wanted to experience, something you've wanted to feel or taste or see or do? By all means, my love, please figure out a way for that to happen. As they say, there is no time like the present. And while you have your beautiful health and your wits about you, where there is a will, there is always a way. And if you're saying, oh, I don't have the resources for that trip, or, oh, I could never get that time away from my family or my job, or now simply is not the right time, I would love to draw your attention to the fact that if God placed this idea in your heart, then most surely it is meant for you. I think that with enough practice and enough faith, you start to know at a certain point what feels right and what feels like it's for you, and what is that thing that you've been trying to justify or trying to make fit, but your heart knows that it's just not working and it's time to release it. So time is of the essence. What can you release? What can you stop focusing your energy on? Allow it to disappear and move on to where it actually belongs in order to open up space and time for this life and this experience to be what you know it is supposed to be. So much to think about on this lovely Thursday afternoon. I would spend a little bit of time, quote unquote, with this one. And, maybe I would say there are so many different ways to experience time, and the idea of time itself, quantifying it, releasing it, the calendar, the energy of it. Allow yourself the clarity and the grace to see what really shows up for you when you start to think about your relationship with time. You deserve joy in every moment of every day. And if you are doing things to drain your time of a joy-filled experience, then it is probably time to reevaluate and allow yourself to release what truly no longer serves you. All of that being said, I thank you so much for spending your very precious time, a bit of it, with me today. I hope that these sparks serve you well, and that as you are sitting quietly and going back over them and spending a bit of time with them on your own, you are in fact truly inviting the dialogue with your highest self to really be the most prevalent aspect of your practice. So again, no right or wrong way, as long as it brings you joy and a little bit of clarity, and it's prompting you to take some time for yourself. I can't think of a better reason to continue on this journey. So thank you so much for being here for day 14. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, I wish you the brightest of blessings and a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here, love. I will see you tomorrow.